we have a lot of incredible secrets for boomers and for Xers about YouTubers, the gaming industry, and a lot of things. So if you want to know about them, please make sure to keep on watching. Watch till the end this video. Make sure that you subscribe. And Dave, take it away. You have great secrets.
Okay, well, here's the thing, and we'll give you a teaser. We're going to go in more depth to it tomorrow, but let's have a little look at the gaming industry, because the gaming industry you may have been observing or maybe not paying attention to. It's all the stuff about Fortnite and all the different things people are playing, and, you know, forget those kids. But here's the thing. If you were wondering where everyone went, they are not playing they're not watching Game of Thrones. Let's put a comparison on this. When Game of Thrones, at its peak, was getting 50 million people watching each episode around the world, all taking social media and, you know, is it Jon Snow? Is it not Jon Snow? All the stuff. At the same time, that phenomenon was nothing compared to the gaming world, where the biggest guys on the gaming world on Twitch, which you've probably never heard of, which allows you to split your screen between the game and the camera, we're getting about 80 million people watching. Yes, and you didn't know that, but that's where the action was. So if you're wondering what the gaming world looks like, let's take a little glimpse of how to become a gamer, and I promise we'll rescue you in a little bit, but this will blow your head. Ready? Here we go.
I think well, let's go.
Guys, my name is Nick, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how to start a YouTube gaming channel for free. So I actually make these videos every single year around December, and I think it's a good way to show you guys how you can start making a YouTube channel, how you can start making videos and all that kind of stuff even without any money, because there's a lot of people out there who want to start and they just don't know where because everything costs so much.
So I think, Dave, I think it's great if we can actually just basically run them through what is happening. Because, of course, I mean, this is a video, I watched it myself, and it was too much. I mean, the violence and everything, what was happening. But basically, what he's doing, he's explaining how any kid could become a YouTuber by basically recording their videos. And I mean, you go like, oh my God, how do kids know so much about YouTube? Well, there you go, because there's a lot of tutorials in how to do this, right?
It's a completely different world to us. So for many people watching this are going, that's a little bit frantic. It's not frantic. This is a game. Believe it or not, this is how people relax when you're under our age. And so they're all talking. Normally with this, you'd have a camera going up. This guy, if we had a sound up, he'd be explaining exactly how you do this whilst playing the game at the same time. And if you're wondering how this actually pans out, these guys are so popular that they're sponsored by all the big boys. You name them, Red Bull, everybody, they're there. Who sponsors them when they go to the toilet? Now, let me just explain. When they go to the bathroom for bathroom break, they press play, and an advert for Red Bull will go around, or Eveready batteries, or whatever it is, Coca-Cola, McDonald's, doesn't matter. And it will just keep playing, and they'll disappear for an hour or for 15 minutes or whatever. Then they'll come back, and people were waiting for them. And these guys will do marathon sessions of 24 hours where they're just gaming non-stop and so on. Now, it looks really intense and it looks really in your face, and you're thinking probably, well, it's not my cup of tea. Well, let me tell you why. The lessons from there are things that you need to bring into your own existing industry, because this in front of you is a $180 billion industry. Now that seems like a lot of zeros. Let me explain in perspective what that is. If you took the NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLS. I'm not going to explain what they are. If you know sports, you will know what I'm talking about. Plus the movie industry, plus the video industry, and put them all together, you would barely make a scratch on that. This is esports. This is where the kids are at. $180 billion every year. And if you're wondering what kind of audience that brings in, check this out. 2.7 billion users online, quietly in their own little worlds, in their own little chairs, playing the games, and not bothered what you or me or Ernesto are talking about, even when it's about M&Ms or gummy bears in his case. Now, Stop My Head Hurts is exactly the point. Now, we're going to be explaining all about the importance of gaming, the importance of YouTube, and all the rest of it on tomorrow's Fast Forward show. But I'd like to sort of leave you with a little bit of an insight into how big this is, especially when you consider that these guys are online, and whilst everyone was in lockdown, they're going, well, hey, I didn't want to go outside anyway, because in a gaming world, you don't need to. This is a guy called Bugha, Bugha. At the time of seeing him on the screen, he's 16 years old, and he took part in a thing called the Fortnite World Cup. You may know the game Fortnite. And what he did was enough to win him $3 million. And when you see his parents, they're just going, we spent a fortune on his education, and it's all coming back to pay us. And they're more than happy. Have a look at this.
Down to Bugha! Doesn't even matter. 4 players, 3 players remaining. It's a fight out for the victory royale in game 6.
2 left.
1v1. Crew still in it. T-Chubb as well, back and forth. And it might come down to a heel-off. T-Chubb dropping down those campfires. We'll see here. Crew following it all the way in, and T-Chubb goes down. Crew with a victory royale.
Crew with 7 eliminations and the victory royale. The monster performance at the end of it. That could have just secured him hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even over $1 million by just that game right there with how he does. But ladies and gentlemen, there's no way anyone beats him. Your Fortnite World Champion, Bugha! $3 million richer, the biggest individual prize victory in competitive gaming history. Millions watching online, and folks, he didn't narrowly win. He absolutely took the best Fortnite lobby in history and taught him a darn lesson.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for your Fortnite World Champion solo winner.
There's his family looking on. Hey, get double chicken. Get the extra meat, do the whole thing. He's buying, I'm going to tell you right now. And there's the dance. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to bet his dad if he's got moves like that.
Yeah, this is just absolutely insane. So if you are thinking that right now the virtual world, you're basically just entering because of the coronavirus and because of the pandemic, all these kids have been in this virtual world for a long time. And these are only gamers. We haven't even scratched the top of the entire virtual world. I mean, if we go further, if we go even deeper into it, it's going to blow your mind. So right now, everybody's, oh my goodness, how am I going to do my Zoom? How am I going to be working on my marketing? And these guys, and you know, these guys have been there for a long time. And what is also really very interesting about it is that the amount of money that it's floating on that universe, it's unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. The average age of the internet millionaire right now, it is 14 years old. I mean, previously the internet millionaire, it was the Jeff Walkers, and it was the Frank Kerns, and it was the Mike Filsames, and it was those guys that, of course, helped us get into the world. But right now, these are the guys which are actually leading the way, and that's why it's so absolutely critical. So, Dave, let's talk about good old Ryan, because good old Ryan, I mean, it's just
old Ryan.
Old Ryan, good old Ryan. That's what I'm saying, good old Ryan.
Goodness me.
How old is good old Ryan?
Good old Ryan, and I may be wrong, and somebody can correct me in the comments. I think he's about 7, or maybe he's 8. That would make him old. Now, he was the biggest earner.
5.
Yeah, or younger. Yeah, we can't tell. I don't think he ran about with an umbilical cord, but he wasn't far off. But the point is, from the very beginning, and you have to avoid being cynical here, because it looks like, oh, look, his parents are sending him out to work. That's a terrible thing to do to your child. Let me just put this in perspective. You thought that Bugha made $3 million for just playing in his game. Do you remember how much Ryan made last year, Ernesto?
I think it was $54 or $56 million.
$1 million. Now, this kid is talented. He talks, he's funny, he's cute. It's called Ryan Kaji. He's actually based in Texas. I think it's from Houston. It's your neck of the woods, by the way.
But what's the power from Ryan? I mean, what's actually what most of his videos? Anyway, you were going to share how many views were. I mean, do we have any answers?
Yeah, put your drink down. Put your drink down, and then go get yourself a stiffer drink. 2 billion people have watched that video. 2 billion. I'll say 1 billion people have watched Ryan
With a B.
With a B. Yeah, a little B. Opening the eggs and seeing toys and getting all excited about it. Now, this is a phenomenon. Now, it's always been a fact that if you do stuff with kids, it can work out really well, certainly for the audience that we have here. But that is actually from Ryan's toy review. All he does is review toys. And that's a massive area of business. Tomorrow, by the way, in Fast Forward, we're going to be going through all the shows that you could make and the most interesting niches that aren't covered properly. So make sure you join us for that show.
A question that I think it's incredibly, incredibly important that most people keep on asking themselves is, where is all this money coming from that we never knew about it before we actually went into the virtual world? And my daughter Nina explained it to me very, very clearly. She says, you know, most of what you're doing, Dad, is you're creating websites and you're creating products and you're creating all sorts of things. But the problem with that is that you have to generate traffic. You have to pay for advertising so that you can actually start bringing traffic to your website. The way that YouTubers think is, we create a video, we optimize the video, and in every single one of our videos, they have a lot of links. And all these little links are supporting a cause, or they are basically buy whatever affiliate product or whatever it is. So there's several things. And also what happens is that the moment that you become a YouTube partner, that means that you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of video views. Then on that specific moment, you start getting paid for every time that your video is seen. And that's it. So basically every video that you upload to YouTube becomes an asset. And if you start really understanding how it all works, I mean, just look at the amount of money that these guys have done with 2 million views. It's just insane. Brilliant. But it's an economy that we have never understood as Xers and as boomers. And that's why this information that we're sharing with you, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
It's. I mean, if you think about 2 billion views, that's like the people who went to see Frozen or the big Avengers movies. Only music videos normally catch that, apart from people like Ryan. I mean, Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, it took about 40 years for that to reach 1 billion. And Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, about 30 years. Gangnam Style have reached 6 billion. Remember Gangnam Style? That one, I won't do that again ever. And Baby Shark, that was 5 billion. And the biggest music video of all time is Despacito by Luis Fonsi, and that's 6.8 billion. So the bottom line is, kids content does work very well because more people watch it, and kids in their own ecosystem on their phones, your phone, probably their phone, and on their iPads are absorbed, and we know all the characters. And I think before we finish today's show, we should introduce them to the biggest YouTuber. And that if Ryan's the biggest earner, then this guy is the biggest name. I don't think we've got his picture there. Can we share the picture? There he is. Some people will go, I know who he is, but you don't. You probably do, but you might not. This is Mr. Beast. See, you were way off. Mr. Beast is 22 years old. Mr. Beast has 37 million subscribers, and his videos collectively have had 5.6 billion views. So I think what we should do, and we can probably play out on this, Ernesto. Tomorrow's show, we're going to go in depth about your own shows and what you can do, and lots of tips and tricks and techniques. But I'd like to show you how this guy managed to gather over 15 million people in 1 year by showing you a video of him just in action.
The point that I want you to see, it's the excessive amount of cash that there is in that industry, because that is just insane. So if you are not seriously thinking, how can I actually use and learn all this information? Don't worry about it, because that's what we are doing right now. We are basically learning from that specific market and translate it in ways that you can also use it. So tomorrow we're going to be saying, you don't have to do the crazy things of all these kids. You don't have to say, well, I need to start enslaving my kids so that actually I can start making money. No, what we
Be funny.
That's not what we have to do. So basically what we have to do is basically learn the techniques, the different success clues that they have left for us, and apply them into our business. So now that we're ready, let's just have a look at the crazy world of Mr. Beast.
What is up, little gangsters? Last to leave this roller coaster, car, toilet, bit of money, house wins 20,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. Last to remove your hand off this $1 million keeps it. How do you like it? Dude, I feel flexed. You want a challenge? What are you gonna buy with all this money? I don't know. PlayStation? I would love a PlayStation. Why would you ever leave a $500 tip? Because duh, we don't like money. I'm so rich. Another day, another. We're really out here doing it. What other YouTubers are pulling 4 random people in a bathtub full of money around their town? It's really specific. Now I'm gonna awkwardly hand $100,000 1 hour to spend it. Just leave it there. Hold out your hand. Hold out your hand. Yeah. I got you, dude. Here you go. I want all this money gone. Oh, no way! No! I'll find someone like you. That'll be $1. Thank you, guys. That'll be $1, sir. Please. Ah! You hit. Now it gives away money. You won! Always. Ah, he's touching me. Chandler!
I think I just saw a person. I'm actually leaving.
And now we're gonna try to plant the 20 million trees. Prince is gonna jump over the Lamborghini. You might be wondering why I made you all get in the sandbox. Why? For a challenge, you idiot. Whichever one of you survives the longest gets 10 grand. 10 grand! $20,000. What is this? Why do we still have this? The first ever Mr. Beast dealership.
Wow, so that's just a snippet of how he did it. If you're excited by that, you want to know the techniques, you want to know more about how you can create your own show, you can start tapping into YouTube, you can start creating all this stuff, that there, right in front of you, is the URL, the address you need to go to. You just go to facebook.com if you're not already on it now. Go to groups, go to Fast Forward Show, and tomorrow, as well as having an incredible guest, which is Mr. Dov Baron, who's a genius. This guy is the #1 podcast host. He's a host of a #1 podcast for Fortune 500 companies, Forbes, Inc., and he's an incredible speaker and coach. He's going to be joining us on tomorrow's show. Plus, what else are we going to go through tomorrow, Ernesto?
Well, tomorrow we're going to, right now you see the crazy world. You see the amount of money there is there. It's insane. I mean, you see this guy basically throwing money away because these videos are making him an absolute fortune. And I mean, I was completely oblivious to this world until I actually start understanding that every video that we create becomes an asset. A lot of people have been asking us, well, you know, you have been doing the toilet paper diaries for such a long time. And how much have you been able to monetize? Well, you know what happens? Every single time that we record the toilet paper diaries, this video becomes 4 different pieces of content that go into our asset library. And of course, we are building an asset that is going to actually start working for us a little bit later on. We are already learning all these strategies. And what we're going to be doing is throughout all this time, we're going to be showing you every single thing that we learned, that we translate from the YouTubers all the way for you, so that you can actually become a very good virtual entrepreneur, as all of the previous generations are doing right now. So make sure that you go to facebook.com/groups, Fast Forward Show, which is the secret group where you can see what we're doing in Fast Forward. If you are watching this video on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. That way that you can support us. And even the nicest will be if you actually leave a comment or let other people know about what we are doing, because we know that we are helping a lot of people. Dave, we're running out of time. It's unbelievable.
And remember, you can start a watch party. If you want to start a watch party now on Facebook so your friends can see what's going on, then that's great, because we're building a community, and that community joins us tomorrow in Fast Forward. It's a much more intimate relationship that we have tomorrow, but it's a really big, deep dive. And you'll also get to know some great TV show ideas that people aren't using but are really powerful for your niche. I'll show you how to make a viral video. And Ernesto, as always, will give you the real breakdown from the marketing point of view about how you can set up everything that you need. And if you can't wait that long, then contact us directly, by the way. And if you've got an idea for a TV show and you need some help, or you want more help with your marketing or your business, then always feel free to contact myself and Ernesto, and we'll charge you a fortune and make you a fortune at the same time. That's how it works. Rock and roll.
Yeah.
So
but I think it's great. I think right now these kind of TV shows are very, very powerful, and it is something that is completely innovative. It's just a hole in the market, because for baby boomers and for Generation X, they are still trying to figure out how this works. We have already figured it out, and this is exactly where we're going. So we won't tell you more, because we're going to see a lot more tomorrow on the Fast Forward show. See you.
One thing before we go, don't press that button yet, because remember, if you think that we're not on the right track, Jimmy Kimmel has just hung up his spurs and he's run out of ideas and he wants to take a break for a couple of months. We're not doing that. Why? Because we're changing the game as we go. That will go through tomorrow. Thank you, Ernesto. Now we can go. Bye. Thanks for watching the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you watch all the videos over here. There's two choices for you. Or, of course, I'm Dave Crane coming from Dubai.
And this is Ernesto Verdugo coming from Houston.
And I think we should send a message. Hold on.
What is this?
Subscribe. Make sure you do. Otherwise, you're going to miss out on all the brand new shows, all the tips, tricks, tools, and techniques, and you'll get none of them. And what's even worse is we'll have to get proper jobs. So make sure you subscribe. I would love to see you on future shows of the Toilet Paper Diaries. You can put it down now, Ernesto. Put it down. Put it down and smile. Say goodbye.